Well, welcome to January 2019, and as we start off January, it's going to be very different from the end of December. We're going to have this large ridge that's going to build across much of the central U.S. here, and that's going to help usher in some milder temperatures for this time of year for much of the Plain States and upper Midwest. And this colder weather, well, it's going to stay up to the north across the central portions of Canada and across portions of the New England and mid-Atlantic states to start off the month. And then as we head into about the later half of this upcoming week, we're going to have the jet stream. It's going to split into two, and that's going to give us what's called a split flow pattern here. What that means is relatively calm weather in between these two jet streams. And overall, when we see these two jets split like this, that means relatively a weak storm system, so will likely come through a good portion of the lower 48 here, and that means relatively low precipitation for at least the first half of January. And now as we go throughout the temperature forecast here, January 6th through January 12th, we'll start this off on Monday here. And again, we'll have a brief cool down that will impact portions of the northern plains and upper Midwest. But for the most part, we'll be dealing with rather cool conditions up across the northern tier of the states here. And that milder weather will impact portions of the central plains and portions of the Midwest. And again, that frigid air will stay across the upper mid-Atlantic states and New England states as we go throughout the first full week of 2019. But as we get into the later half of the week, this is by Friday, we'll start to see a system that will come through and that will try to funnel in some of this colder air and even try to get into some frigid air into portions of the northern plains and upper Midwest. So what we are tracking, we're tracking above average temperatures this week for the northern plains. And again, overall, that looks to stay the case throughout mid-January. And speaking of mid-January, small snow chances through at least mid-month. And what we are also tracking is, again, no big push of Arctic air. And that looks to stay the case throughout much of the month of January.